Hello, we are here for another special edition episode. The mindset that Michael Jordan, unstoppable. Sit back, relax, let's get on with the show. So you're new and all that, welcome aboard, subscribe and hit that notification you like about the Michael Jordan days of Unstoppable. Make sure you hit that like. Let's get on with it. What is the unstoppable about the legend of Michael Jordan? Have you seen, well, before we get deeply into this, have you ever seen the movie Space Jam? Absolute one of the classic films I've ever seen. The storylines, there's a show on Netflix. I have not really, The Last Dance, and it's a really interesting documentary. And I didn't quite finish it all, but it was incredible. But anyway, finishing that, let's get straight into about the Michael Jordan stories and 6 championship, 5 MVPs, a glory icon. What do you think about Michael Jordan? Do you think of the man who is an incredible player, spirals the moment to winning each series, but the secret of his ability isn't the highlight reel. It's not just about the dunks of winning championships. It's not about those clean shots. It's about the greatest fallings of the best moments that would have broken anyone else, but the moment that built him. To understand what Michael Jordan, unstoppable, you cannot stop the top, the best top of the world. You have to start from the bottom, and that's what anyone of you want to work hard to play on the greatest. So, setback, the block come Utah. The story has become a legend back in 1978. A 15-year-old 5'10" snowboarder named Michael Jordan tried out for the valet basketball team at the Lee High School. He walked in and hoped he walked out completely crushed. He wasn't just cut. He was set down to the junior fouling team while his trailing friend made the cut. The reason they gave him, he was too short. For Jordan, this wasn't just a letdown. It was public humiliation. He talked about how embarrassing it was to see the Ballon roster posted the whole school to see his name missing. He went home, locked himself in his room, and just cried. He was divided, thought about quitting for good. But this mother, Donna Jordan, gave him advice that unknowing divine his whole life. If you really want, you have to work for it. The single Rejection become the fuel for a fire that would one day cost his entire league, his career. But Jordan used the embarrassment to drive him. He said, whenever I was working, I got tired. I closed my eyes and see that list. They usually got me going again. That season, the JV team has become unstoppable star, dropping 40 points a game, turning into a JV game into the most seen event by his junior year. After 4-inch growth, a spot and a summer of non-stop practice, he didn't just make the Valentine his own it. This was his own lesson, rejected just information. It was told by years later after researching, rerouting, absolute peaking of his sport. Jordan would face a challenge divine. It would make being cut from high school team feels like nothing. On July 23, 1993, his father and his friend James Jordan was technically murdered. The man he called his rock, the one and who had been there from every single day of his life. Major moments, and suddenly it's gone. The loss has hallowed with the joy for the game, and gone. The exhausted Michael Jordan, then unbreakable. On October 6, 1993, at the highest of his power, he retired from basketball. He said he had nothing left to provide and on to play without his father watching. The world was done. The greatest player of all time had just walked away. This could be one of the biggest stories ever. Instead, he was just beginning his next chapter. For giving the mindset. Jordan retired wasn't an end. It was just curious. In the quiet moment away from the roar of the crowd, the mindset that made truly unstoppable. He forgot he was really boiled down to three principles. They are easy to understand, almost impossible to master. First was his power to turn fail into fuel. Jordan has a famous quote, turn sum up his velocity. I missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I got almost 300 games, 26 times. I was trusted to take the game winning shot and miss. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I see this wasn't just a suck line for commentators. It was how live every loss, every missed shot, every mistake was fly away in his mind, not as just a failure, but a lesson. He once said, my achievement attitude is that push me towards something that you think it is a weakness, then I will turn prior weakness into strength. This mindset was engaged from legacy work, etc. The second principle, his absolute was winning. For Jordan, competition wasn't just part of the game. It was the same story of his insane combination and legacy. He turned simple hard game with teammates. Mom into a battle wall. Wells. During the 1992 Dream Team practice, he lost a game of a ping pong to Christian allegedly. He didn't speak to anyone for 2 days, had ping pong tables delivered to his hotel room and practice. Relied until he could challenge Leslie again, completing dominated him. This drive wasn't about ego. It was about steady, exciting to his climb and his absolute everything. Occasionally, he led the Breakfast Club after losing his Irish Fiscal District Pistons for 3 straight years in the playoffs. Jordan knew he had to get stronger. He started early morning workout, sometimes early as 5 a.m. Even on game days, soon teammates like Scott Pitten and Rob Howard joined in the Breath Club, became the foundation of their future championship. Third, and maybe the most crucial principle, was mentally toughness, unbelievable under pressure. And it was better than the flu game. It was a game 5 of the 99-7 NBA Finals. The series was 2-2. The United Jazz, the night before Jordan came down with what was later released to be solved food poisoning. Like it from a bad pizza, he was so sick he couldn't barely stand. Most players would have never left the locker room. Jordan not only played, he played 44 minutes and dropped 38 points and hit the game, stealing 3-pointers with 25 seconds left. Icon managed husband Jordan completing into Scott Pitten says it all. His will to win was stronger than his body will wit. So that's the moment of legacy of Michael Jordan. What's your favorite MJ moment? It is a classic shot, a ridiculous dunk, or one of the stories about the cleverness. Well, let me know down in the comments down below. The unstoppable return. After the Major League Baseball, a passion tribute to his late father dreamed the far from basketball started to burn again. The game missed him sure, but missed the competition more. In March 1995, after his agent drafted a few press releases, he didn't like Jordan took matters in his own hands. He said, fact news outlets, his own hands. He sent a news outlet across the country in just 2 words, I'm back. It was the most inflation press release in the sport history. His first back shown no some and Bulls lost the players that season. Well, cities started to wonder if the magic was gone, but they forgot who they were talking about. That loss just because more fuel for the fire. He been teased by rejections, by tradies and now by his own limits. But his mindset, now forgotten, was simply unbreakable. But what happens next was maybe the most dominant three-pointer strength in the history of the sport. Atlanta was focused. Jordan led the Chicago Bulls to another three-peat winning championship 96, 97, and 98. The 96 era was the championship won by Father's Day, and Jordan was later seen slobbable on the locker room floor, clutching the ball, the game ball, deeply personal tribute to the man who strapped him. He had returned from the brick and reached the summary once more than not just being the most talented player, but being the most manly reliable. Michael Jordan, the legacy isn't just six rings or the endless highlights reels. It's a story about the power of the human spirit. It's about a kid who was told wasn't good enough and then used that to paint the because of living legend. It's about a man who lost his father, his hero, and walk away from it all, only to find strength to come back and honor his memory. His greatness wasn't a gift, he was earned it. It was earned in those early mornings workout when no one was watching. It was earned by turning every fail into a lesson, every setback into a motivation. The unstoppable, the mindset wasn't something he was born with. He had to build a brick by painful brick out of the ribbon of his worst moments. After maybe the real lesson here is it's not just a balance about the make someone great. It's a choice based and to fight for it and to use the few to become a truly unstoppable. All right. If you were inspired by this story, make sure you like this video, subscribe down below, much appreciated. Was absolutely hit that notification bell. And as well, what is your favorite MJ? I love to hear from down in the comments down below. We'll see you next time. Well, bye for now. BJ Shows out.